For centuries, the galaxy believed one simple truth. Humans were insignificant, not dangerous, not powerful, not even worth worrying about. They were just another young species that had barely stepped into interstellar space. In the Great Galactic Council, where ancient civilizations gathered, humanity always sat at the far end of the chamber, far from the powerful empires, far from the respected species, far from importance. Whenever the human ambassador spoke, most delegates didn't even bother listening. Some checked their data tablets, some whispered among themselves, some simply laughed. To them, humans were newcomers pretending to matter. One of the most dominant empires in the galaxy was the Zorvax Empire. They had ruled hundreds of star systems. They had crushed rebellions effortlessly. They believed strength was the only law of existence. Their supreme commander, Krath, had one favorite phrase about humans. They are soft creatures playing with fire they don't understand. Every time he said it, the council chambers filled with laughter. And every time, the human ambassador remained silent. No anger, no protest, no reaction, just silence. That silence would later become the most feared thing in the galaxy. Everything began when the Zorvax Empire started expanding rapidly. Planet after planet fell under their control. Entire civilizations surrendered without resistance. The galaxy entered a silent panic. Then the Zorvax fleets reached the outer human colonies. The Galactic Council expected one thing: human surrender. Even human allies quietly advised Earth to submit peacefully, because compared to the Zorvax war machine, humanity stood no chance. A transmission arrived on Earth. It was short, direct, cold. Surrender your outer colonies, accept Zorvax rule. Resist and your species will be erased. The galaxy waited. Some expected fear, some expected negotiation, some expected chaos. But Earth responded with only 7 words. We strongly advise you to turn back. That was it. No explanation, no diplomacy, no begging, just warning. The reaction was instant. The Zorvax High Command laughed for several minutes. Commander Krath personally broadcasted his amusement across military channels. The humans think they can warn us. The galaxy laughed with them. Even neutral species shook their heads. Humanity had just signed its own extinction. The invasion fleet was assembled, and it was massive. 10,000 warships, hundreds of carrier ships, thousands of support vessels. The largest fleet ever sent against a single species. The fleet entered the solar system, and something felt wrong. There were no human defensive fleets, no border patrols, no warships, nothing, only silence. Commander Krath smiled. They already surrendered, but deep inside his officers something felt off. Because advanced civilizations never leave themselves defenseless. Unless they are not defenseless as the fleet moved closer to Earth, sensors detected a faint energy pulse from the moon. Then another. Then thousands. Suddenly the moon was no longer silent. Massive structures began activating beneath its surface. Hidden ports opened. Gigantic doors split apart like metal petals, and ships began to rise. Not small ships, not outdated vessels, but massive warships, human warships. Across the solar system, the truth was revealed. Mars, Europa, Titan, even asteroids in the belt, all of them were not natural objects anymore. They were hiding places. Shipyards, military installations, weapons platforms. Humanity had not expanded like other species. Humanity had prepared, for decades in silence. One by one, engines ignited. Blue energy lit up the darkness of space. Thousands of human ships emerged from hidden bases. Then tens of thousands more. Then even more beyond that. The Zorvax fleet stopped moving. For the first time in their history, they were unsure. Commander Krath stared at the screen and whispered, "That is impossible," because the human fleet was larger than theirs. A human signal was transmitted. Calm. Controlled, final, you were warned. Then the first human ship fired. A beam of blue energy crossed space. One Zorvax cruiser vanished instantly. No explosion, no debris, just erased. Panic spread instantly. The Zorvax fleet retaliated. Missiles, plasma cannons, railguns, but human defense systems reacted instantly. Every attack was intercepted, every missile destroyed, every strike neutralized. Then humanity advanced. The human fleet moved like a coordinated organism, not chaotic, not random, perfectly synchronized. Ships jumped behind enemy lines. Entire Zorvax formations disappeared within minutes. The galaxy watched in horror. Because this was not a battle, this was execution. Commander Krath finally understood. Humans were never weak. They were never unprepared. They had simply chosen silence. They had studied every war, every strategy, every weakness of every empire. And they had built something terrifying, a perfect war machine. Then it happened. Human ships activated a new technology, interdiction fields. The Zorvax fleet could no longer retreat. Jump drives failed. Escape routes collapsed. They were trapped inside human territory, inside a planned battlefield, inside a trap that had been prepared long before they even arrived. Within 6 hours, 40% of the Zorvax fleet was destroyed. Within 12 hours, half their command structure was gone. Within 24 hours, the invasion collapsed completely. What remained of the Zorvax empire fled in desperation. But even retreat was mercy, because humanity allowed it. The news spread across the galaxy like wildfire. The Zorvax empire had lost, not to a superpower, not to an alliance, but to humanity, the species everyone mocked, the species no one respected, the silent species. A transmission was sent from Earth to the Galactic Council. It was short again, just like before. We have no interest in conquest, we only defend ourselves. No demands, no threats, no arrogance, just truth. After that day, everything changed. The Galactic Council rules were rewritten. Humanity was no longer ignored, no longer mocked, no longer underestimated, because now everyone knew the truth. Human silence was not weakness, it was preparation. And in the records of galactic history, one sentence was written forever. The galaxy did not lose to humanity in war. It lost the moment it laughed at them. And from that day forward, every empire, every fleet, and every ruler remembered the lesson learned above Earth. Never mistake a peaceful civilization for a weak one, because sometimes the most powerful force in the galaxy is the one that never has to fire a single shot.